I'm going to start off this by preparing our feathers. I've just got a saddle hackle here with some webbing in it, and I'm going to strip fibers off just below that, get all the fluffy stuff off so we can get a nice stem to work with. So I've got something that looks like that. I'm going to take my feather and put it inside of the wing burners here. I want that feather to go right, the stem of that feather to go right down the middle of the wing burner. I'm going to hold it in this fashion here. Cut the end off. We don't have to burn that whole feather. It's going to smell like burnt hair and makes a mess. So that's the place where I'm going to shape it, right there. And just touch it to the flame, and it's going to burn all those fibers off the outside and shape that feather to the shape of my wing burner. There, I have the wing of my green drake all done. I'm going to do that on a dozen or so of those feathers. I'm going to tie up a half a dozen of these today. I'm going to get it all ready for the June-July hatch. For the body and the tail of this fly, I'm going to use mallard dyed green, and I'm going to cut the center of the stem out, down about 3/4 to an inch down. Just cut that stem out of the middle. And I'm going to hold just a couple, just leave maybe about 10 to 15 fibers and strip everything off down each side, leaving myself, again, a good long stem to hold on to and deal with. So I've got something that looks like that. Since this is a pretty big bug, I'm going to use a pretty good size hook. This is a size 6 dry fly hook. Something with a good gap on it to land some of those bigger fish that hopefully we're going to encounter this year. I'm going to use a yellow thread for this, something light colored. And I'm going to start back from the eye of the hook and attach my thread. And run my thread about halfway down the shank of the hook. I'm going to take my body and tail feather now, and I want to grab just 2 fibers and leave them forward and pull all the other fibers back. I'm going to do that on both sides. So I have something in my hand now that looks like this. This is going to be our tail. This is going to be our body. I'm going to switch hands on that and bring that up to where we have our thread now. And I've got it tilted towards me, not right on top. I'm going to take a loose wrap around and it's pull towards me, and it's going to twist around right on the top of the shank of the hook. And attach that with 5 to 6 wraps just to get it where I want it. It's not quite right directly on top, so now I'm going to move it, twist it, and get it right where I want it. Now that I have it right where I want it, I'm going to wrap back towards the front, right over all those fibers, and attach those in good shape. I get back there a ways. I'm going to trim all those off now, nice and close.
It's 10 o'clock.
I'm going to bring my thread up to halfway between where we stopped our thread and the eye of the hook, and this is the point where I'm going to attach the wings of this fly. I'm going to take 2 of my wings now, and if you notice these have a natural curve to them, I'm going to put these concave apart. In this manner here. And I want the tips to line up. So I'm going to get those tips all lined up nice and even. And I'm going to switch hands, hold them in my right hand. Put them up there so those stems lay right side by side, right on the top of the shank of the hook. Want those to be right on the top. I'll switch hands again. And when I get them right where I want them, I'm going to take a couple loose wraps with my thread. Making sure they're right on the top. Now I'm going to wrap those stems down all the way back to where our body ended. I'm going to attach those in pretty good shape. And I can cut those off nice and close. So now we have something that looks like this. Our wings are attached, our body and our tail is attached. I'm now going to take those wings and stand them up straight. I'm going to bring my thread back to where the stems are. Stand those wings up straight and take some wraps in front. And what that's going to do is going to keep those wings standing right up straight. Now I'm going to prepare my hackle feathers. I'm going to take two hackle feathers, one green and one grizzly. And I'm going to strip fibers off on the bottom, leaving just the best part of the feather and leave just a small stem to tie on. I'm going to do that with a green and a grizzly. I'm going to bring my thread now all the way back to my body again. I'm going to take my two saddle hackles and put them one on top of the other. And I want to match up those stems so they're pretty even. I'm going to take them right up to the hook now. And right where our thread is right now, I'm going to wrap those stems down. I'm going to attach those in a nice smooth wrap and bring my thread all the way up to the eye of the hook. I want to create a nice smooth area for these hackle feathers to wrap on. Now I've got those attached in that manner there. Now with my hackle pliers, I'm going to grab the tip of one of the top feather, and I'm going to wrap that. I want to get as much of this feather on as I can. I'm going to leave just a small gap where my green feather is going to go in between. But I want to use as much of this feather as I can. I want this thing to float pretty high. And I'll take my second feather now. Now that I got both those attached, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to clip off those tips. Nice and close. I'm going to pull all those fibers back and wrap a nice smooth head up front here. I don't want to use a lot of thread on this. I don't want to add any more weight to this fly than what I absolutely have to. The more weight I add to this, better chances are it's going to sink on me. So I'm not going to add any more weight when I absolutely have to. And now pretty much our green drake is done. You can see the body, the silhouette of the body, silhouette of the tail. And the nice thing about the wing burnt wings on this, is with that stiff stem, I can pretty much put those anywhere I want. I can lay those down flat so it's a spinner, or stand them up as a drake. But I can use this in the morning and the evening. It'll imitate the hatch of this green drake in either manner. And what I want to create is that silhouette. These fish get pretty stupid when these things are hatching. It's such a big meal for them. They'll see that silhouette and they will absolutely whack it.